Welcome back to Full Circle with Wikali. A very good morning to you. How you doing? Where you tuned in from? Tafadhali tutumie ujumbe, be part of the conversation, and it's just going to cost you a shilling to do that. So the number is 111 444 111. That is the number to just tuma arafa. I'm not so sure. Just send a text, guys. Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. Now we're getting into a very interesting conversation. If you've ever lost your job after the interview and you never understood what happened, walinita nikaingia and I felt like we were going so well, but then I didn't get the call. What happened in that interview room? It's time for HR Circle. And we have the expert himself. We'd love to have him on the show. Mr. James Otara, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
You look sharp.
Thank you.
Monday has nothing on you.
Yes.
Kindly introduce yourself for the people who are seeing you for the very first time. You're a resident here, but we have new audiences every other day.
Thank you very much. My name is James Watare. I am a HR consultant and a project manager. I teach people what they were not taught in school.
Yes. Yes. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. And today we're talking about the interview space.
Yeah.
And it's true that we lose out. You go, Unambiwa will give you a call, and you have no idea what went wrong. But is it possible that we lose our jobs during the interview space? You walk in and that's where we lose it.
Yes, so many job seekers lose the interview. Immediately they walk in, even before the interview starts. Others in the process of the interview. So in the interview process,
yes,
people lose jobs because of things they could have avoided, and they are very simple.
Yes,
yeah.
Tafadhali, indulge us. Tunanzia wapi?
Wow.
Because first we have to get in. You get
yes.
you get the call.
Yes.
And you're told this is like the traditional one where we used to go to meetings.
Yes.
For the interviews, apart from Mrs. Zoom.
Yes.
The first thing that happens.
So when you get an interview call, it's very important you confirm the date. Confirm the date of the interview.
And time.
Yeah, so many people have missed on the date. They have gone on a different date and a different time. Confirm the venue and confirm the location.
Okay.
Because sometimes it can be quite some distance. You need to prepare and leave your house area. So you need to confirm all these things. After you have confirmed, now you need to research about the organization. Because one thing I have noticed about many job seekers is that they don't research the organization. So they arrive, they have no idea which organization is this. They ask questions, they cannot be able to respond. So at that point now, the interviewer may not be interested in you, because it was a conversation to know whether you can fit in our organization. You're supposed to have research about us so that you can be able to know what we do. After that, you're supposed to now list some questions in relation to the JD of the your skills that you have.
Okay.
There's some questions. For example, if the JD talks about teamwork, there is going to be a question about teamwork in that interview, most likely.
Yes.
If the JD talks about communication, there's going to be definitely a question relating to communication. If a JD talks about project management, there is most likely going to be a question about project management. So look at the JD, formulate the questions yourself and list down answers yourself. It will help you to calm the nerves that will be able to respond to the interview questions on the material day.
It feels like umejitengenezea mwa Kenya.
Yes.
So you go in there a bit confident because you did your research.
Yes.
And you've also asked yourself tentative questions, probably what you think they might ask you.
Yes.
And sometimes they're general kinds of questions. Zenye most of the times unaambiwa tell us about yourself. So people go online checking how to answer that question.
Yes.
Do you recommend that? What would be your advice on looking up on tentative questions that people get during an interview?
The job description should be your holy grail.
Okay.
When you are responding to all the questions that you asked during the interview, always respond with the job description in mind.
Okay. Okay.
So it is very important if you are asked about, tell us about yourself. Last time I gave about a formula, how to answer that question. I'm going to repeat it.
Yes.
But now in relation to now a JD.
Okay.
So the formula is I am, I have, I can. I am is basically your name.
Yes.
I have is what you have in relation to the JD.
Okay.
The skills you have in relation to the JD. The experience you have in relation to the JD. And the achievement you have in relation to the JD. So the relevant qualifications you have in relation to the JD is what you are supposed to say in that question in about 3 to 4 minutes. Now,
who are you? Stop telling us we're in number 4, Queenie.
Yeah, so
I'm the fourth born in our family. So
there are some job seekers. If you are not prepared for this question, if you have not formulated a good response, you'll go out of your way to give irrelevant information. Like you can say, I am a girl, I am fourth born, we are 6, I live in Nairobi. And you finish with the like you have answered the best answer in this world.
So you have not said anything about this job?
Yes.
And your skills?
Yeah.
And what you're bringing on the table?
Yes, I have not said anything.
Okay. I am, I can, I have.
Yeah.
That's the formula to answer the big question. Tell us about yourself.
Yes.
Great. So now we've prepared before walking into the interview. So it is the D-Day. We've gotten the venue right. We've gotten the time right and the day. So we've shown up. What is the time frame? Do we show up 30 minutes before, 20 minutes before, 10 minutes before?
It is recommended between 15 to 10 minutes, or if it goes 20 to 10, between 20 and 10 minutes. If you go earlier, you show a little bit of desperation, or you are you don't have anything to do. You are so idle.
Okay.
So another thing, going late, is not only respectful, but it shows that you have no respect for the job, you have no respect for the company, and you have no respect for the interviewers. So it is very important to get the timing right. Because time management is one of the employability skills that employers are very keen on.
Yeah.
If you didn't keep time during the interview, you don't keep time to deliver assignments, to work on projects. So it is starting on the wrong footing, and it gives a very bad impression to the interviewers. However, there are sometimes eventualities happen, and you may be late. So it's very important to communicate earlier. If you got an accident or you be late on because of various reasons, it's good to communicate earlier with whoever was communicating with you.
Yes.
Just tell them you'll be late with 5 minutes or 20 minutes, or tell them to reschedule.
Okay.
It is better to reschedule than to get late like 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So say, for example, what was your Kimau? Hi. Barabara ni mbaya. So I leave very early to just make sure that I'm there in good time.
Yes.
So I don't want to onekana ni kama niko desperate pia.
Yeah, yes, yes.
So naingia kwa mkahawa ama na hang out wapi hapo karibu ndio.
So if you came so early, you feared the construction site might interfere with your arrival time, and you arrive earlier. It's good to hang around the venue. Either if you're in a vehicle, you can be in your vehicle, you're doing some research or revising your notes.
Okay.
Or you can, if there is a hotel nearby, you can get into a hotel.
But don't show them desperation.
Because one is probably even the office is not so big. People are working. You're going to interfere with their schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's always good to just before 20 to 10 minutes, just that gap is good.
Then the magic time is here. The board is ready for you. Kindly walk in.
Yeah.
And then, whew.
Yeah, so here is how you walk in, like you already have the job. Remember body language?
Yes.
Body language, according to research done, comprises of 55% of your communication. 55%. The rest is 45%. Yeah. So the body language is very important. And everyone gets nervous. You get nervous, I get nervous, everyone gets nervous during the interview. So the secret is preparing before the interview.
Okay.
You prepare, even if you are nervous, with the time, it's going to cool down. That's why you arrive on time, because now it will give time to cool your nerves down. So by the time you're entering the interview room, your nerves are already down. So when you enter the interview room, now there is issue where are you going to sit down? Are you going to greet them? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So the most important and a simple one you can do is just greet them a good morning or a good afternoon. Then from there they will give you instruction on what to do.
So usifike tu umeenda umeketi chini.
Usijipea kiti. Yeah.
So you wait until you're told to sit
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
That is rule number
Yeah,
one. Say salimiana,
Yeah.
then follow the instructions. If you're told to sit down,
Yeah.
that's when you sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. And then now you wait. So the
Yeah.
questions begin at this point.
Yeah.
How are we sitting?
The sitting arrangement, since they have given instruction where to sit,
Yeah.
you
Our
have
body language in terms of our gait. How are we? Do we place our hands on the table? Do we sit? How do we sit?
No, it's good now to just maintain eye contact, depending on how the interview room is arranged. Make your own judgment. You can, but the best one is just to lean a little bit forward.
Okay.
And not just staying like this, like you have just arrived where you are going. Lean a little bit forward.
Okay.
Then keep eye contact, and then respond to the question you have been asked. And then listen to understand. Do not listen to respond, because sometimes people respond to questions they have not been asked, or they have not been keen on what they have been asked. And then also on the other side, there's some interviewers who don't know how to ask questions. So it's good to listen so that you can relate the question to the JD.
Okay. That is the trick. I think that is the one thing that I've picked from this conversation so far. That whatever you answer, it should be in relation to the job
Description.
Yes, for the job description.
Yes.
If you go out of that, then you're missing the point.
Yeah, you might miss the point, yeah. Most probably, yeah.
If you have any questions whatsoever, we're talking about getting into that interview like a boss and bagging it and getting that job. 111-444-111 is our SMS line. Send in your questions. If you've walked in before and you never got that call back, you felt you were nervous the whole time, or you did not understand half the things that happened in there, Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. You can send in your questions there as well. We'll be right back with Mr. James Wachere after this break. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mikali on HR Circle. This morning we're talking about the mistakes that we make during an interview. So if you're walking into that room, what do you need to know? And we have James Wachere in studio helping us with this conversation. Something that we did not talk about before all of this. When we walk in, they look at us. How are you dressed? The grooming beat of, yourself looking good, shaving, colors, and all of that.
So it's important to dress appropriately. Some organization may prefer smart casual, but in most organization is official. But it depends with your career.
Okay.
For example, if you're going in your engineer, you are going for a technical interview, then you need to wear appropriate gear for that interview.
Yes.
So the point is to do your own research about the dress code of this organization. This can be found online in their website, in their social media pages, but most of the organizations is official. So even if you don't have a suit, you're a man, you don't have a suit, just wear a nice official shirt and a trouser and shoes and go for the interview. It does not necessarily have to be a suit. You go borrowing a suit, and it does not fit you. Maybe it is small during the interview, it is so clumsy. So just make sure you are comfortable in your clothing so that you're going to respond now to the question that you're going to be asked without so much pressure on you.
Okay. We have a question here for you. Good morning, Mikali. Niulizie, what about kama nimejibebea my hard copy CVs? Can I distribute them to the people when you're kwa interview room, ama ni assume they have their own copies?
Wow. So these days, due to COVID, many organizations are preferring printing their own CV, the one that you sent. So, but for your own copy, you can print the documents, print even testimonial certificates. Your CV is always good to have them in a hard copy, just in case someone decides to ask for them. Okay. It's always safe to have them in hard copy. It's also good now to have them for your own good. If they have asked something and they need you to confirm, then you have your own copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question for you. Masi, hey Mikali, looking awesome. What a great discussion, nimeipenda sana, great lessons. Morning Mikali, great topic. What if I walked into an interview and depending on how it started, I realized this is not what I want? Can I tell them that and just walk out. Wow. That means you didn't research.
Wow. Wow, it happens. Sometimes the one who called people for interview was not keen enough to go through the CVs, and found out whether this person was fit for this job. Sometimes people are overqualified, others are in different profession. So sometimes it happens, but it's good to be courteous. It's good also to be a little bit respectful to the panel. Tell them, I appreciate you calling for this interview, but I was not coming for this position. If you have this position, now state your position that you can fit, then I'll be willing to work for you. And then from there, you can continue having the conversation. Yeah. Then if they don't have, then you can part with a very nice way. Yeah, I appreciate you for calling for the interview. If you have this position next time, can you call me for an interview? Can I take my leave? And then I can release you. Just nicely.
What is the most important part of the interview?
Every important.
Every part.
Every part is very important. From the time you are called for an interview up to the last bit of interview process. Because sometimes you may assume that beginning of the interview, during when you have been called for an interview, is not that important. I have seen people who have not even prepared for the interview. So you will, on the material days when you realize you walk in, you decide to go for the interview, and then you decide to summon not only the Queen's language, but also the Queen herself. And then the Queen's language is so kind that it will accompany you up to the door of the interview room. And then it whispers all the best, and then it goes back home. And it's why you're there. Now what happens after that is that your mind decides to play a zonto on you, since there is no Queen's English. So you not only forget your name, but your gender. People have forgotten their gender in an interview room. So, and this happened because people have not prepared well. Yeah.
Keys in preparation.
Yes. So every process is very important.
Okay. Morning, Wikali. I've never been in an interview space, but I hope to be in one soon. Aki, ask Mr. James about dressing code, because some of us tumebarikiwa and they might take the wrong impression.
Okay. Is that to do with asking?
Yes. Okay. She's called Mercy.
Ladies, you can never go wrong if you have a blouse and a wrong skirt and a blazer, or something official, or an official dress. You can never go wrong. And also, if you have to wear the accessories, just make sure they are neutral colors, blue, gray, brown. So they are not so shouting, and they are not so outstanding. Like they are not all over. So at least they are moderate. Just
simple. Jewelry.
Yes.
Good morning, Wikali. Mercy, during the interview, when one is asked about their weakness and strength, how is one supposed to respond? I find it difficult. Please help me.
Wow. The weakness question. The weakness question is always a tricky question.
Yeah.
Because this is now where you formulate a weakness that you have, and now you formulate it like you are working on it, and now you have perfected on it. Just turn it to be positive. Because if it is so negative, you say that you are short-tempered. People in the interview room will start worrying, are you going to start beating us in this office?
Yes.
So just make sure the weakness you have given is a weakness. Like, for example, you can say that you are not patient with the people who drag you behind. But with the time, you have learned to delegate and to work as a team and to deliver on time. Just make sure that your weakness does not disadvantage you from getting the job. Yeah.
What about the strength in terms of looking like you're boasting, chest thumping, and all of that? How do you coin that without,
This is your chance to showcase your skills. Don't fear. Yeah?
Okay.
If you're good in management, just tell them that the projects you have managed, people you have managed, and the budgets have been managing. Tell them, these are things that are in your CV, they can confirm from your employer. It is your time to shine. Can you shine?
Okay. Yeah. We're not holding back.
Yeah.
Morning, Weeks. Should I expect to get a JD before the interview? And if I don't get feedback in the expected time, can I call and inquire? I have had 2 offers with the same company. The first time, they didn't respond till I inquired and failed. I got a second offer and I'm yet to hear from them after I asked for a JD to the offer given over a call. I am McKenna.
I'm thinking it's an interview offer.
Mm-hmm.
So she has been called for an interview.
Yes.
The JD is found when you apply for a job. When you apply for a job, I'm sure there's a JD that learned, and then that's where you have qualified, and then there was an email or there was a link to their website or the to application a link, whatever, if it was through the website, and then you applied. That is the JD you print or you save it somewhere.
Okay.
So that now you compare your JD with your CV and then audit yourself the skills that you have vis-a-vis the JD.
Okay.
Yeah. If there are some instances where you have it is a forward through a WhatsApp forward, there is no specific JD. So go to the organization website and look for if they have ever advertised that job, or in job groups like Fuzu, Bright Amadi. Look if they have ever advertised for that job, and then look if you don't get, there might be another company doing the same business, almost the same size. So go get the JD from that. Most of the time, the JDs do not differ a lot. Get the JD and then now prepare yourself using that JD.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the matter of calling the soon-to-be employer asking for a JD should not be the case, because you already have it. That's how you applied for the job.
Yes.
Okay. Interviews are just formalities. I once walked into one with an attitude because I had just had enough. Believe you me, I turned out to be the best. Several months into the job, I realized they weren't meeting their end, so I left. I am Dio from Ugenya, Siaya. So they're saying that interviews are just formalities. Probably they know exactly who they want or what they want, but then they make you go through the whole process.
Most likely no, because these days, if you see a job that has been advertised,
yes,
the company or the organization is looking for that kind of individual, that kind of a job of employee. Because these days there is no need of waiting or wasting time. If they are most of the recruiters have realized that of advertising for a job, I already have somebody who you are going to promote from inside, or you have got several referrals from your friends or from your networks. So these days there's always time to advertise for jobs that have already been taken. So if you there is a job that has been advertised, that vacancy is there. Just apply for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The famous question, do you have a question for us? The board asks the interviewee.
Definitely you do have a question.
Yes.
Have a question.
Is it a must? Do I need to have a question?
Having a question is very important because it does not only show that you are engaging in the conversation, but it shows your genuine interest in this job. It shows that you already started figuring yourself inside the organization. That's why you're engaging them in that kind of a conversation. For example, there is a question you can ask, what is the organization culture?
Okay.
So it's very important to ask questions. Ask questions about the growth of the company, the growth of the employee. And then there is the question I always tell people to ask so that they can give you closure.
Which one?
Ask the interviewers when you expect them to give you feedback. Get them, tell you whether it is after 2 weeks or a month, and if after that month, which number can you call or which office can you visit to find out whether you got successful, so that you can get closure, that you can move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you kept waiting for a bit, not knowing what exactly happened.
Yeah.
Nobody got back to you. Akisema umepata ama hujapata. Sana hujapata.
Yes, and you know some interviewers can give you so much hope. Oh, you are one of the best candidates we had today. And then when you're walking out of the door, you reach 1 month, 3 months, 4 months, forever. There is
nobody's calling you.
Yeah.
So we need to ask when I expect to hear feedback from you.
Very important. And I tell job seekers, even if you are told you are the best, until you sign the contract, assume it never happened.
Okay.
That will make you move on very fast.
So it's important. I think it's very important because most of the times we are hopeful, and these are things. So you go home thinking that they said this and this and this about me, so that means I will probably get it.
Yeah.
But then you also called out the organizations out here before, saying that they need to call people back.
They need to give feedback. especially if you took the interviewee 3 interviews, 3,
Yes.
4 interviews.
Yes.
It is just courteous to tell them we have filled the position, but you are a good candidate. We wish you well. Give them some feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
The question about salary.
Yeah.
How much do you expect us to pay you? I think you've mentioned it before.
Wow, yeah.
But you have a formula for this one as well. Please, for everybody who's tuning in from for the very first time and they didn't hear you the last time you were here.
Yeah.
How do we answer this question? How do we come about with the amount of money we should be asking for?
The salary question, job seekers should know it will come up at some point.
Yes.
Whether it is during the first interview or second or during the last interview, they should know that it will come up at some point.
Yes.
How you handle this question is that you research if they had not given the salary on the JD, because these days many organizations are giving the salary the salary to avoid calling people for interviews they cannot afford. I have seen that. It is very encouraging to see that. So if they have not given the salary, so it's your work now to do some research about how much they earn in that position. You can ask somebody who previously held that position, and those people who are not currently working there can give you information. Those who are working there may not give you information for reasons we all understand.
Yes.
So those who previously held the position can be found on LinkedIn, or you can find them through your networks. If you don't get the organizations that do the same business and they're almost the same size, find out how much they pay, the salary range.
Okay.
Then when you are quoting your salary, always give a range and be comfortable with the lower range.
Yes.
Because the employer may decide to settle on the lower range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So spatiane figure moja.
Yeah.
It's between this and this.
Yes.
And I was sure that question was going to come in. How do you respond to Kiulizo about salary? Should I ask how much I should be paid? Do you ask them, or do you wait for them to ask you?
Wow. Money issue is always sensitive, but I tell job seekers, you are there because you want the job and you want the money.
Yes.
So if it doesn't come up, and probably you have gone to the third interview, always bring it up.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with bringing up the question, but don't bring up during the first interview. Yeah.
Okay.
Later, when you have seen they are a bit serious with you, now you can bring it up with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say you were poached for a job and you didn't actually apply. Then you settle in for a contract. Work a couple of months, but the company has not yet signed your contract. What do you do? Do you walk away, or do you follow up despite not being given any response?
Wow. So they is already working in that organization?
Already working. You didn't go through the formal kind of interviews. You were poached, sort of like they knew what you can do and they have a job for you. And you were given a contract. And it's a couple of months. The company has not yet signed your contract. What do you do? Do you walk away, or do you follow up despite not being given any response?
So maybe I would like to know whether she has been paid for the months she has been working there, because if she has been paid, it's confirming that she's already employed and she is in their payroll.
Yes.
However, it's good to walk into the HR department and ask for you to sign the contract, for you to have an abiding document with them, because if it's very risky, if they decide to fire you and you don't have a contract, you don't have anywhere to refer to. Yeah. So it's very important for her to insist on a contract from the HR department or from the employer.
So if it's not coming your way, voluntarily go get it. If you still want to continue working.
Yeah. If it's not coming your way after insisting on having it, then have a discussion with whoever poached you and tell them, I have been patient enough.
Yes.
I have tried to ask for a contract. Can you get it for me? If you don't get it, can I give you a timeline of 1 month? After 1 month, then I can quit. Then have a discussion. Have a discussion with whoever poached you.
Because it shows commitment on
Yeah,
their end
yeah.
and also
Yes,
a commitment
yes, it's
on
a
your
binding
end.
document. Yes,
It is.
yeah.
It is. So what is there anything else we've left out in terms of like preparing and tackling and handling an interview?
Yes, there are things that you're not supposed to do when you get into the interview room.
Okay.
For example, using your phone.
Yes.
You're supposed to switch off your phone or keep it on silent mode. Using your phone or texting during the interview, it shows you don't have interest and it is rude.
Very rude.
So it's keep it, throw it in your bag or throw it in your pocket, and you can always use it when you get out or the interview room.
Yes.
2, very important, do not badmouth your former boss or your current boss.
Because they will ask you about your former employment.
Interview session is not a gossip session. So what happens when you badmouth your former boss? This world is too small. There might be someone in the interview panel who knows that person. And he will tell you, this is my friend you're badmouthing. So the question will come up, with this person now, after she has come here, will she be badmouthing us the same way she's badmouthing the boss? So you lose it at that point. So it's very important to know that interviewers are looking for somebody who can solve issues or problems amicably and effectively, and people who can work with others well in a difficult person, and someone who is reliable, who can be manage a team, and even if there is one or two difficult person to be managing the team.
It's one thing when you've moved from one job to another, and it's another where you were fired.
Yeah.
And so you might be asked what happened with your former employment. How do you answer that question without making yourself look bad if you were fired?
Well, it depends on the reason you are fired.
Yes.
Yeah, here depends on the reason you are fired. If the reason was not your fault, and you have evidence that you did your work well, it was another person who did the same thing, and it was a collective. One person can do a very gross mistake, and then a whole team is fired.
Yes.
Then you can just tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. I was fired because of our team. Person X did A, B, C, D, and it was a collective responsibility, and you were fired. Now, if you are fired because of gross misconduct, like if you are drunkard and you used to go to work when you are drunk. Now, as you are and the letter states there that you used to go drunk. So, is you now to prove to the potential employer that either you have gone for rehabilitation or you have stopped drinking, and then you can tell them to give you a chance to prove that you have did a change.
Okay.
So it's always good to look at the scenarios and then have a way of responding to the question without sabotaging your chances.
Yes. Okay. It takes a lot of wisdom and preparation, of course.
Yeah.
James, thank you so much for coming through. It's always amazing having you on the show. How can people get in touch with you directly?
My number is 0725809714. Social media, James Watare, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
If you're looking to get, into college, to get that knowledge before you get into the job market, and atakama ni entrepreneurship, well, KIPS College is one of the largest NEC examination centers in Kenya. It's a premier tertiary institution that has been established and mandated to operate by TVET Authority. So it is a leading institution when it comes to offering high quality technical and professional training, bringing out the very best in their students because they have ultra modern learning facilities, highly qualified and experienced lecturers, the attachment clear zone office, counseling office, all of this make KIPS the preferred choice. And they also have limited help loans that are available for you, and intake is currently ongoing for full-time, evening and online classes. Now, for more information, all you need to do is call the number 0708 184040. I'm going to read that again, 0708 184040. 4040. KIPS Technical College is your path to success. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We will be right back.